All right, in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 easy steps that it takes to grow and scale a car detailing business to over $100,000 per year. To get it above 6 figures per year, I've broken it down into these 3 easy steps for you to follow, okay? Now, quick disclaimer, this isn't actually easy, right? It's not like a walk in the park to grow a car detailing business. You know, most car detailers never actually make it above $50,000 per year. And it's not because they suck at detailing at all, right? No, it's not because they're not good at detailing. They probably do an amazing service because they don't actually understand the fundamentals of scaling and growing a business, right? They've built themselves a job, right? They haven't built themselves a business, okay? They're working on the wrong things. They're spending money on the wrong marketing strategies, right? Flyers, websites, like whatever. Okay, it's just they're working on the wrong things in the wrong order, right? So if you actually do follow these 3 easy steps, you're going to be miles ahead of any other detailer simply because you now have the knowledge, the information, learning from my mistakes. Okay, if you're wondering who I am, I've built multiple car detailing businesses. I built my first mobile detailing business a few years back, and I managed to scale it to over $100,000 in the first 12 months. Now I run a physical location, we run a shop, we've got multiple employees, we've got a lot of complexities going on inside of the business, but I've managed to actually take myself out of the business. So I don't actually work on the tools every single day. We have a team managing the technical side of it, the fulfillment, the detailing work, and I sort of manage the back end now. It's because I've built systems. So before I get into it, I just want to kind of explain or talk about my favorite quote, right? And that is from Bruce Lee. The quote goes, "I don't pray for an easy life. I pray for the strength to enjoy a hard life." And that is the exact philosophy that you need to have, or that exact mentality you need to have when going into entrepreneurship, or whenever you're trying to be successful, build something great, or, achieve something, okay? I guarantee if you find any Olympic athlete and you ask them if they enjoy every single day they go training, they're going to tell you no. In most cases, they hate training. They only enjoy the result. And it is progression that becomes enjoyable, the progression of, achieving your goal. There is enjoyment in that as well, but for most cases, right, the actual process is very hard. But I'm going to try and make it as easy as possible for you, okay? And I'm not trying to discourage you in any means possible, okay? Because there is a great result at the end, right? When you build a profitable business that basically runs on its own, or when you can create a business that provides you the life, the freedom that you actually want, there is so much fulfillment in that, okay? I mean, the only way to escape the so-called 9-to-5 rat race these days and to actually get ahead is to build a business and invest your money, right? Those two things work together. Okay, to actually create generational wealth, you need to either build a business or invest in something. Invest in some sort of investments, okay? Unless you're like a neurosurgeon, right, who have studied for the last 15 years and you're on $500,000 a year, okay? In which case, you're probably going to be the small minority of the whole global population. We're building businesses here, specifically mobile car detailing businesses, and I'm going to set you up for success by following this video. You're now going to have an understanding of what to do to be miles ahead of every other detailer out there, okay? Okay, so step number 1 is you actually need to offer higher price services, okay? If you only offer $100 services, it is going to take you a very long time and a lot of jobs to get to 6 figures per year, right? If we actually break it down, okay, to earn $100,000 off of $100 details, that's 1,000 details, right? 1,000 jobs that you need to do throughout the year. Per month, that's like 80 something details per month, right? So it just doesn't make sense, right? As opposed to, $1,000 jobs. If you start offering $1,000 jobs, okay, well, look, now you only need to do 100, right? That's been divided by a factor of 10. Okay. You only need to do 100 now. You can see the difference, right? It's much easier to fit 100 details into a year as opposed to 1,000. And think about it like this. It's much easier to find 100 people as opposed to finding 1,000 people. So you offer your prices, you offer your services at a higher price, right? And this does two things. One, it's going to attract better quality customers, okay? And number two, it's also going to give you bigger profit margins, which means you're going to be more profitable, okay? You're going to be slaving away on $100 details, okay? That just doesn't make sense. So you need to offer high price services. I always say this, okay? It's much easier to find one person willing to pay $1,000 than it is to find 10 people willing to pay $100, okay? The hardest thing, well, not the hardest thing, but one of the hardest things when you're first starting out, right, with growing a detailing business is getting customers in the door. So why would you set yourself an even bigger challenge and trying to find more customers, right? You're setting yourself a bigger challenge. If it's already hard to get customers, okay, so why set a challenge of trying to get 100 customers as opposed to trying to get 5 or 10 customers at higher prices? That logic just doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, obviously there's a cap. There needs to be a demand for the services you offer at that market rate. But in the detailing world, you can offer $1,000, ceramic coating services, and the general public will pay for these prices. Obviously the market we're targeting is slightly more affluent, okay, slightly more wealthier. They have discretionary money that they're willing to spend. If you think about it, the average household has about 2 cars per household, right? The average car is worth $30,000 to $50,000. Don't quote me on that, but that's probably the average price of a car. Okay. And now if you think about the upper range of cars, you're looking at $60,000 to $80,000, $100,000 cars, $200,000 cars, right? Why would these people not spend $1,000 to protect their vehicle for the long run, right? A ceramic coating service is a long-term protection for the paint. Now, along with raising your prices and offering high ticket services, you need to have some sort of a maintenance plan, okay? You need to build reoccurring revenue, right? I've actually got a client that I work with in my academy right now, and he's just crossed over $140,000 per year in maintenance details alone, right? So that means that, before he even starts the month, he's already going to earn $12,000 that month. I looked at his calendar just the other day. He showed me a year out from now. 1 year from now, 12 months in the future, he's got his calendar already set. He's got $12,000 worth of jobs on that month, right? Imagine that feeling, being able to forecast 12 months from now and be I'm going to earn 12K that month, regardless of whether I get new customers or not. Now he's doing $30K a month, total revenue with his mobile detailing business, but almost half of that's coming from maintenance details. He's just focused so heavily on maintenance details. And I mean, the feeling alone of just knowing you've got that much recurring revenue coming through to cover all of your bills plus be profitable without finding new customers has got to be a huge weight off your shoulders, right? This is one of the most important things you need to understand about client acquisition. It is much easier, much more cost effective and less energy to get an existing customer to use your services again than it is to find a completely new customer, right? Because you have to admit, it costs money or energy to get customers. They don't just come knocking on your doorstep or calling your phone like we all want them to. There has to be a price paid in order to make that happen, right? If you want customers just to call you 24/7, then you need to build a website that's ranking super high on Google and be running paid ads. So there's costs involved to actually have that happen. So a maintenance plan, right? Get your customers on regular, frequent maintenance details, okay? The goal for you should be to get your customer to book into your calendar again before you even leave that job, right? So let's just say you're at a detail job right now. Right now, there's a priority of things that you want to ask the customer after you've detailed their car, right? You take payment and then you say, hey, happy with all the work we've done? And then you go, hey, look, how would you like to keep your car looking like this on a regular basis for a fraction of the price of what you just paid today? What are they going to say? Nah, I don't want to ever get my car cleaned again. Of course they're going to want to get it detailed again. Unless they're selling the vehicle, they definitely want to get it detailed again. If they're oh, I need to think about it, you could say this, well, look, hey, do you think you're ever going to want to use our services again? And they're probably going to say yes, unless you did a shit job, and in which case, probably best to sort of pack up and leave. No, you actually want to ask what you did wrong and try to rectify it. But look, they're most likely going to say, yeah, of course I want to get my car cleaned again in the future. We say, well, look, how about I save you the headache of having to worry about it, and let's just pencil it on the calendar now for a month's time. Look, it's going to cost you half the price of what you paid today, and you don't have to worry about it. It's already locked in. Plus, you know what? I'll chuck in an additional paint protection for you as well, just so we get that paint looking really nice. How does that sound? Make it irresistible for them. Get that customer booked on the calendar before you leave the job site. Every single detail you do from now on, your first goal before you leave should be to get that customer back on the calendar, right? You want to build up this recurring revenue. The second thing in the priority list after you've detailed the vehicle would be to get a review, ask them to leave a review. And then the third thing would be to ask them to refer you to a friend, right? For a referral fee or something like that, okay? But that's another story. Now, talking about bookings, okay, when it comes to scheduling and booking customers into a calendar, I've just recently started using Jobber in our business, and it is a game changer. It's super cool what you can do with this software, and it's really easy to use. Scheduling in jobs, sending out invoices, it does the whole 9 yards, sending out confirmation email reminders. It is so cool. It's so easy to use. It's probably one of those softwares that I recommend if you are just starting out and you want something that's easy, affordable, and can basically do everything you need as a small car detailing business, okay? One of the best things that I love about it right now is that my employees can clock in and clock out, and there's a little GPS thing, so I can see exactly where they clocked in and where they clocked out, and then I can look at all the hours, and then I can confirm the paycheck and just complete the payroll basically from Jobber. So super cool what you can do with it. Highly recommend it. If you want to check it out, I have a referral link down below. You can get the first 6 months 20% off. Go and check that link below, and I know you're not going to regret it. Okay, step number 2 is you need a consistent lead generation system. Business is a numbers game, right? Once you have an offer that people actually want, like car detailing services, there's a demand for these services. You don't have to convince people that they need their car cleaned. People understand that they need their car cleaned. Once you understand this, right, then it becomes a numbers game. Okay, so you want to make $100,000 per year. If you're going to break it down into, let's just say for argument's sake, you're going to do $1,000 details. Okay, so that means you need 100 jobs for the year. You need $100,000 details for that entire year. Okay, if we break it down into months, that means you need about 10 per month. Okay, let's just go. It's 8 per month or so, but let's just say you need 10 per month. Okay, it's 120 per year. So to get $10,000 jobs per year, right, you're going to need to get at least 100 leads into your business let's just say if your conversion rate is 10%, you're going to need at least 100 leads into your business that are interested in ceramic coating services, if that's the service you're selling. Okay, it becomes a numbers game. The more leads you have into your business, the better, but then you need a way to convert those leads into actual customers. The way you get leads into your business, well, you need what I like to call an omnipresent marketing strategy, which basically means you need to be everywhere on every single platform. Okay, if someone searches on Google for car detailing services, your website needs to be there ranking high. Your Google ad needs to be there ranking high, right? You need to be the first choice on Google. Your Google business profile needs to be there with hundreds of reviews, okay? You need to be everywhere on Google. If they're searching on social media, right, you need to have organic content that is posted on a regular basis, right? You need to be top of mind when people are searching on social media. If people are scrolling, right? Your ads need to pop up. If someone's visited your website, but they didn't take action, right? And then they go to social media, are you retargeting that particular user, right? With your ads. You need to be omnipresent. When they go to TikTok, are you on TikTok? Are you constantly posting content? The more omnipresent you can become, the more chance for people to see your business, the more likely someone is going to become a lead. And like I said earlier, it is a numbers game. The more leads you have, right, the more chance you have of converting them. Now, on average, right, if you were to convert on a 10%, like kind of conversion rate, every single lead is different. Like there's hot leads, cold leads, warm leads, right? So every single lead's different, conversion rates are different, right? But I'm just, this is for hypothetical example, right? If your conversion rate is 10%. So let's just say for meta ads, I know the conversion rate's about 5%. If you get about 5% or more with meta ads, you're doing pretty well. So that means to get like 10 jobs per month, you're going to need like 200 leads into the business. Okay. So, and then you break it down on a daily, 200 leads into the business per month, you break that down on the daily. It's a lot of leads. Like you need a lot of leads. Okay. So if you're wondering why you're not getting customers, like how many leads are you getting into your business? How many people are inquiring? Like if you're getting one inquiry per day, well, no wonder you're not getting any customers. And if you don't have any social media presence right now, you don't have any online presence, you don't have a high ranking website, you're not running ads, then how are you going to get leads? You need to actually go out there and get them physically. Boots on the ground methods. Okay, that's the only way to get leads if you don't run ads or you don't have a website ranking high. If you're not getting leads online, then you need to physically get leads, okay? There's just no two ways about it, okay? You need leads for your business. Now, the next part of having a lead generation system is having a lead nurture system, okay? Because once a lead enters your world, right, they inquire on Facebook, they send you a message on Instagram, they call you through your Google business profile. Like what happens? What's the process there? There needs to be a nurturing process. Are you sending them some emails with case studies and testimonials? Are you calling them back as soon as possible if you missed the call? Are you messaging them as fast as possible? Are you just saying your price straight up in the front end of the funnel, putting up a barrier, okay? Like what happens there? So the easiest way that I've found to nurture a lead is to get on the phone with them as fast as possible. Like the quicker you can get on the phone with a potential lead, the better, okay? You can build more trust when you're talking to them on the phone, right? And then if you are booking in like a ceramic coating service, I recommend scheduling a consultation, because if you can go out there and actually see them in person with their car, you're going to build a lot more trust very fast, and that's going to enable you to justify the prices that you have for the services. Okay, now it's the lead nurture process is important. Okay, now let's just say someone doesn't actually book into your calendar then and there. Like not everyone's going to book in. You're going to have a large list of contacts of leads that just never took action. They never actually booked into your calendar. You want to put them on a reoccurring newsletter or like a monthly email campaign. Send them frequent emails, okay? You've paid for this lead. Potentially you've paid for this lead. You've got this lead, right? You want to now send them consistent email marketing messages and SMS messages, okay? Don't be consistent on SMS. Texting is very invasive. I recommend only sending out a text campaign or like an SMS campaign like once every 6 months or maybe once every quarter if you're really strategic about it, okay? But you can send emails every single week, right? As long as they are like engaging and they're actually, authentic and they're not just salesy, okay? You can send out email like marketing campaigns every single week. And what this is going to do, this is going to keep you top of mind. Okay. This is all about being omnipresent. You need to be omnipresent everywhere in their email inbox, right? You literally need to be everywhere so that when it comes time, and it will come time, that person wants to get their car detailed, who are they going to think of? Who's going to be top of mind? Oh yeah, the detailer sent that guy that sent me an email last week. What was that company called again? Yeah, Auto Clean Detailing. That's who I'm going to call. You see, you just need to be omnipresent. You need to be everywhere. And then you need to nurture your potential leads. Okay. You need to nurture your leads, keep them engaged, right? And then send follow-up messages. Follow up. Okay. All right. And step 3 is you need to systematize and delegate. Okay. You cannot wear all of the hats forever. You need to work on the skills and the tasks that have the highest leverage. Okay. So what that means is, what are the skills inside your business or the jobs inside your business that have the highest leverage outcome, right? Or the highest revenue potential? Because in most cases, it's going to be sales and marketing. I've got a client at the moment and he's like, oh, I'm getting so many leads in the business. Should I outsource and get a sales rep? And I'm thinking, you're working on your own still. The highest leverage skill that you have is answering the phone, following up with leads. No one is ever going to be as enthusiastic about your business and selling your services as you are, as the owner is. The owner is always going to be the most enthusiastic and most likely the highest converting when it comes to booking in services, right? So you shouldn't be outsourcing that straight away. You should be learning that, honing that skill in. What you can outsource though early on is admin work, right? Sending emails, right? Or you could be outsourcing like video editing, okay, for your content, outsourcing ad management, right? Outsourcing the detailing work, right? Detailing a vehicle is not necessarily a high leverage task, okay? It is something that you can outsource relatively fast. And if you have multiple guys working on one car, you can do more in a day, right? Which means more revenue potential. So it comes down to, what are the highest leverage jobs inside of your business, okay? And can you do them, right? Because they're going to cost the most. To hire a reputable salesperson is going to cost a lot of money, right? Otherwise, it could damage the impact of your business and you're going to lose out on opportunity. You never want to lose out on leads, okay? The faster you can get back to leads, the better. But everything needs to be systematized. You need to have SOPs, standard operating procedures for everything that you do. How you answer the phone, how you talk to potential customers on the phone, how you detail a car, how you detail the wheel of a car. Can an employee or a potential employee step into your business, go and do a job, read a document, watch a video, and know exactly how to do that job, right? We have videos, SOPs for every single task inside of the business. And this is because I am building this business up for sale, right? I'm building my car detailing business up with the idea of selling it. Now, that's not to say I'm going to sell it, right? I might keep it for the next 10 years, right? But I want to build it with the idea of selling. And if I can build it with the idea of selling, then it is basically going to run itself, because the only thing that's really like attractive to a potential buyer is, can that business run itself? And that's what's going to, I guess, really increase the overall value of your business. Can it run automatically? Is it profitable? Okay. That's what I want you to think about. So if you liked the video, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. And until next time, click those resources below. I do have a training down there where I kind of explain a little bit more about my story and how I got started. So definitely make sure you go check that out below. And yeah, see you in the next video. Peace.